America is in the midst of a deep recession, with foreclosures and unemployment across the American landscape. But one community has discovered hope. A light is shining in the northwest suburb of Chicago in a town called Carpentersville. A radical concept has been introduced that is saving property values, restoring the pride of home ownership, and putting people to work. This is their story.
When I brought OTTO Engineering as a small company out here to Carpentersville, well over 35 years ago, I had very limited means to buy property or to do much with it. But it was an available spot, and I was afraid, however, that the appearance of the place was that if it got any worse, it was going to turn into a ghetto of sorts, because there were so many unpainted homes here in Old Town, which is actually a very nice spot on the Fox River in Carpentersville. And first thing I did was sandblast the front and make it look nice. Later on, I'd been a head of a homeowners group before, and so I set up a homeowners group with the rules of order for it. And we had a big meeting, and I think about 100 people came from Old Town and organized. And I gave them the rules, and I said, anybody can be a member that owns a home or has a business here. And so they formed the Old Town Association. I said, I'm not going to be the president. You're going to run this thing yourself. So I merely set up an example by improving the property here. I bought up a few homes right adjacent to the property as time went on. But all of the people of Old Town have turned this into one beautiful place. These homes look great. Anybody would like to move into Old Town of Carpentersville, the beautiful Fox River. This is a lovely spot, and the homeowners have made it a very nice part of town. So Tom Roser carried this on with much better planning over a much wider area, with greater means. Tom is a great planner, brings the mind of an engineer and a businessman to it, and almost as a sideline, Tom has enlarged what I had started immensely and brought it into a whole new area of town. I'm very proud of his organizing ability. I gave it a little spark. Boy, he's started a bonfire.
In February of 2008, I was driving through a neighborhood on the west side of, on the east side of Carpentersville, and I was astonished to find that that's a pretty nice neighborhood, but there were vacant homes everywhere. And I think there were about 200 vacant homes. Vacant homes are a bad thing for a neighborhood. It's going to make the next vandal resident is going to be that vacant house. The neighbor across the street's value is going to go down. So I went to the city and suggested that we had a problem, that maybe if we partnered together we could solve some of this problem. The city didn't know how to do this. They didn't know how to work in a public-private partnership, so we took it on ourselves to do this. And what we found was that this is a unique opportunity in that the banks are stuck with all these homes that they don't want, and people can't find financing to buy them. So it was an opportunity to buy them at a low enough price that you could invest enough in them without getting them overpriced, so that they would be essentially a new home at current prices. And you can't fix 5,000 homes, but you don't have to fix 5,000 homes. All you have to do is start, so that others realize there's a future and they will continue to invest. And that was how we started.
I grew up in this area. My parents bought in '60. I was born in '61. Spent most of my life here. The downtown area where we are, Old Town, where we are located, as a kid was just a blight. Ugly, dirty. There was a punch press foundry down here. Jack Roser bought in '80 and immediately started working on our current location, 2 East Main, and over the years has spent a lot of money. We're working on another 11 West Main currently. We bought some houses in this area. The one that I think was the biggest change was when we bought 7 Maple. and remodeled that. And immediately the people on Wisconsin, which were right around the corner, started putting siding on their homes, new roofs, painting, fixing the yards up. And we've noticed as in the whole community that happens. Tom likes to use the word seeding the area, which I think is real nice. You fix up one here, one there, people in between start doing stuff to their homes.
Working on some of the properties, we've had the neighbors actually come out and very excited to see the OTTO Engineering sign in the front yard, knowing that we're gonna totally renovate this house.
It's really, really a beautiful house, and my husband and I are very grateful that he redid the house. And now it's our turn. We have to now bring our house up to that level. But as you can see in this neighborhood, it has a definite impact. Our street, and compared to some of the other streets in Carpentersville, people take pride. People see somebody putting money into their community and they take pride. If you look across the street, we have a person who's wonderful landscaping recently redid some of the tile in his house. The gentleman next door redid their landscaping. We are going to be redoing our soffits and our gutters and our windows this year because we need to bring our house up to the level of the community that we're now living in.
What's been interesting is the response that we've seen from the neighbors. You know, everybody's always curious about what's going on over there. When a dumpster winds up in the front yard of a home, you know, what's going to happen? And as you go forward in the process, who's going to move in? Is it a rental? Is it for sale? And we found that the neighbors are very excited about this. And I've had neighbors call and ask, are you going to sell these houses or are you going to rent them? And what I will tell them is we're going to sell them. Our goal is to get them owner occupied. But if they are interested in buying them, they can buy them before we list them with a realtor, and they can help us pick colors. Drive around the neighborhood, pick a location, because all the houses will be renovated to the same quality.
The quality that we're putting back into these homes would be in windows, getting the proper R value in the walls, new siding, new interior completely from the ground up, plumbing from the ground up, heating and cooling from the ground up, and electrical from the ground up. From the service, from the pole, all the way back into the house, all brand new to today's codes.
We're pretty much turning a house that really is falling apart into a brand new home.
The concept is if you take care of your area, other people will too. Even the vandals will have more respect for something that's taken care of. Sounds a little funny, but the more you invest in your area, you get more out of it than what you put in.
It is true that whenever something is done in a neighborhood, whether it's a house or the village doing sidewalks or streets or whatever, neighbors do take notice and people do fix their homes up.
We can find contractors now too, because there's nobody pounding nails today. No one's building a new house.
For me personally, work was very slow for me about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, crippling slow. And I met the Rosers and came aboard to do some of their remodeling, and it led into these single-family homes, which is a godsend for me and my crew. Like I said, I've been in business for almost 10 years now, and if I'm slow, all my subcontractors are slow.
You've got people like me that are going, working in an environment where right now there's not a ton of work out there. I've been lucky to have work.
I'm doing this because, one, we can. Second, it will have a tremendous positive result. Think about it just for my business. My employees feel good about being part of a team that is investing in them. My employees will refer people to OTTO and say, hey, that's a good company to go work for, so my hiring costs are less, my turnover is less. People who don't know me but know about OTTO will say, why don't you go apply for a job there? Think about attracting people to work at OTTO. They have to live kind of close. If they don't want to move to Carpentersville, then I'm going to have to pay more for people to drive from a further distance. Their transportation costs will be higher, and that all reflects in a wage. So if we can improve the quality of our environment, everybody wins.
There is a certain sense of pride working for OTTO Engineering. You know, you drive down Route 25 and you see the banners hanging in the baseball fields that he's supporting them, and he's just really going above and beyond to keep this Carpentersville town on a straight line. It's a good feeling to be helping people out.
We can solve this problem. This model works.